Welcome back to another reading video, scholars. Did you do all your work for yesterday? Yeah? Alright, then we can get started. So, readers pay close attention to the words in the book and what is happening. Sometimes readers lose track of what they are reading, or their reading just doesn't sound right. Another thing that you can do is reread the sentence or page that you are on and think about how the words we are saying sound. We ask ourselves, does this sound like the words that would be in this book? Then we check the word to be sure we aren't adding in our own words and changing the story. When readers are confused, we can go back to the beginning or the part where they last remember what was happening. We quickly retell what we remember and then reread carefully, checking in with ourselves. Wait, what does that mean? What is happening here? We use the pictures and the story to help us work through the hard parts. Then we can read on, thinking about how all the pages go together. All right? So, today we are going to make our chart for April, just like we did for Sanu and Eric. Because remember, we reread their story, then we filled out their charts with their family traditions. So today we're going to reread about April, and then we're going to go over our chart for her family traditions. Because remember, she has American traditions and she also have Chinese traditions. All right, so let me get our book and we'll get started. All right, scholars, now that we have our book set up, we're going to reread April's story, so then we can go over our chart for today, okay? Let's get started. My name in America is April. I also have a Chinese name, Qing, which means admire, and Lan, which means orchid. Both my parents are Chinese and were born in Taiwan. Taiwan is an island on the other side of the world. My papa came to New York without his parents to go to school, and my mama moved here with her family. Because Julius, my older brother, and May, my older sister, and I were born in America, we are called Chinese Americans. There are many Chinese Americans, but we do not all speak the same Chinese language. The way my family speaks Chinese is called Mandarin. And Mandarin, I called my daddy Baba and my mommy Mama. It sounds something like English, but when we write the words, they look very different. Another thing that's different in Chinese is that words aren't made with letters. Each word has its own special marks. During the week, we go to public school, but on Saturday, we go to Chinese school. There, we learn how to speak and write in Chinese, like my parents learned in Taiwan. When I write English letters, I write from the left side of the page to the right. When I write in Chinese, I write from the right to the left. And I write in rows from the top of the page to the bottom. For us Chinese American kids, there are many things to remember. In Chinese school, we also learn a special kind of writing called calligraphy. We use a brush instead of a pen, black ink, and special paper made from stalks of rice. Our teacher shows us the right way to hold the brush. My favorite part of Chinese school is snack time. Today, Mama made me cold sesame noodles, sumaling mian. I eat them with a fork, but most Chinese people eat their noodles with chopsticks. I'm just learning to eat with chopsticks. Papa told us that an Italian explorer named Marco Polo discovered noodles in China a long time ago and introduced them to his country. When Mama brought home takeout, Julius asked if a Chinese explorer discovered pizza in Italy. Mama and Papa laughed and said no. While we eat our pizza, we play a game to test our wit. Papa asked us to look for letters hidden in the picture on the pizza box. Julius sees a V in the pizza man's shoe. May finds an L. Oh, look! I can even see the Chinese letter, Ba, in the pizza man's eyebrows. Ba means 8 in Chinese. At night, when we have finished all our chores and all our homework, we play Chi Chow Bang. In America, some people call it Tangram. This is a popular game in Taiwan, like checkers is in America. My grandparents and even my great-grandparents played this game. To play, you move 7 different shapes to build a new shape. I like to make a pussycat. It is very difficult, but I can do it, Papa says go slowly and think about a cat. After a while, your mind will start to run and you will see the cat and the shapes. He's right. There is an old Chinese saying, the older you are, the wiser you become. When I become a grown-up, I will remember to tell this to my family. All right, scholars. So we have our chart set up. And remember, just like for Sando and Eric, I went ahead and I filled it out for us so we can go over it together. So remember, she's Chinese American. So they have American traditions, Chinese traditions, and some traditions that is a mixture of both cultures. All right. So let's go over her American traditions first, okay? So for American traditions, they speak what language? Yes, they speak English as an American tradition. She also have an American name. That is an American tradition for Chinese Americans to have 2 names, an American name and a Chinese name. So her American name is April. So their words in American and English are made with letters, and we write from left to right, and they eat just like us. They eat with a fork as an American tradition, and they have pizza, which is originally from Italy, and they also go to public school just like us, right? Now, what are their Chinese traditions? Let's go and look at them. So as their Chinese tradition, they speak Mandarin, which is one of the many Chinese languages. And remember, since she has an American name, she also has a Chinese name. And her Chinese name is Cheng Lan, which means admire orchid. And they also call their mom, she also calls her mom and dad differently, not just mommy and daddy. She also called them Baba and Mama, which in Chinese means daddy and mommy in Mandarin. All right. And the way they write in Chinese, right? Each word has its own special marks. So they're not like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You know, they have lines and curves and all kinds of things, okay? And they also don't write she also doesn't write from left to right when she's writing in Chinese, right? She writes from right to left. So it's the opposite. Oh, that would be hard for me to remember. And there is something she really loves to eat for snack at school in Chinese school. Do you remember what it was called? In English, it's called cold sesame noodles, and in Chinese, it's called suma liang men, right? And in Chinese, like as their Chinese tradition, they also eat with chopsticks. They eat with chopsticks. And since they are born in America, but they're Chinese American, to not lose their tradition, she goes to what kind of school? Yes, she goes to Chinese school. And when she's there, she learns to write calligraphy. All right. And you can also learn to write calligraphy too if you wanted to. It's really pretty and you could have a really fun time learning it. And the last thing that's their Chinese tradition is that they play tangram. All right. Now that we know what her American family traditions are and what her Chinese family traditions are, now let's look at what the tradition is for both cultures, right? Because remember, when you have a tradition for both cultures, it's a mixture. All right, so let's look at which one of those traditions are for both cultures. So what they do is they play a game to test their wits, right? And by finding letters on a pizza box. So that is a tradition they mix from both cultures, because the game to play their wits is something they used to play. Now they're eating pizza and they're mixing all those traditions into playing that game using the pizza box, where they see American letters and Chinese letters. So that's what they do for both cultures as a tradition. Right? Now that we've gone over our April's family traditions, that's where we're gonna stop for today. And we have finished our book, because her story was the last one. And our next lesson, you're gonna have a wonderful have-to regarding those families, okay? So let me get our mission for today set up and we'll get started. So, are you ready for your mission for today? Yeah? All right. Here's your mission for today. As you read on RazKids today, ask yourself if a word sounds like it should be in the book when you are confused about it, okay? That's your mission for today. So are you ready? Yeah? All right, get ready, get set, go.